Hello, welcome back to Startup Heroes. Today we have a special edition. So two of our members, Nate and Dillan, have an awesome thing going on. And today we're going to do a little teaser interview and learn more about it. You guys want to introduce the event and what it's all about?
Absolutely, Michael. Thank you so much. So our event is the first ever Green Eyes Festival. If you don't know about Green Eyes, it is a local legend from the Chickamauga, Georgia area. Chickamauga being a small little town just about 20-30 minutes from Chattanooga. It's where me and Dylan basically grew up. It's where we went to high school.
It's where we first met.
Yep, yeah, it's where we first met. And yeah, growing up there, we heard this legend about a ghoulish figure said to haunt the Chickamauga battlefield, a park on the outskirts of town. And this is our way of kind of giving back to our town in a way, is creating a fun cryptid-themed fall festival.
Yeah, and we got the one to do this from the Mothman Festival as we were driving back from the Mothman Festival in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. It was about like an 8-9 hour drive from Chattanooga. A really nice drive, though. But it was a really great time. Kind of like a horror festival, cryptid festival. It wasn't just Mothman. It was a bunch of other cool stuff that we're super into. And we wanted to bring that back to our area.
Yeah, so tell me more about the Mothman Festival, just like really quick. What can someone experience there? Why do people drive 9 hours to go there? Mm-hmm. Why do they care?
Yeah, so definitely if you are someone who's into like cryptid, stuff like that, we're kind of in like a renaissance right now of that kind of media.
And a cryptid is like a local monster or...
Yeah, so I mean, there's like, with a lot of this stuff, there's kind of like your harsh definition, which is like your like dictionary stuff, which would be like, a cryptid is like a creature that is believed to exist, but there's no definitive proof of existing. Some people, they'll get hardline and say like, it has to be an animal, it has to be biological and all this stuff. But really, it's a term that extends heavily into like the supernatural, and you can use to describe like a lot of like local legends and stuff like that.
Are there any like... What are like the top 3 that you can think of off the top of your head that are like really well-known ones?
Bigfoot, Mothman, Chupacabra.
Cool. Yeah. So you guys get it. If actually he said Supernatural. So if you ever watch the show Supernatural, that's a lot of cryptids.
And like Scooby-Doo, they're just
Mm-hmm.
hunting down fake cryptids basically.
Yeah, exactly. It's stuff like like a Nessie from Loch Ness, like that, stuff like that.
Okay, so back to Mothman Festival. What's there?
Yeah. So the festival, basically, it was just a very like fall festival kind of vibe thing going on. It was in the summer, but it had like tons of vendors that were a lot of fun because they're all like going into like the theme. So they all have like cryptid themed merchandise of all kinds of like varieties, from like artwork to clothing to like little things you can like take home, like plushies and stuff like that. So that element is really fun, seeing like the creativity of the vendors and all the stuff they come up with. There was great live music, which I believe is mostly like local bands that were really talented. And again, they all get into it. They're singing like songs about Mothman and things like that. There was a beer garden. They have a museum there, a actual Mothman museum that's full of like memorabilia from like sightings and things of that sort.
And the statue.
Yeah, there's a giant statue of him. It has a very shiny and caked up butt. So people like to take pictures with the butt. And
There's a live stream too. You can watch it online.
Mm-hmm. There's
Not
a live
the butt,
stream.
but the Mothman.
Is it kind of like
statue.
the bronze bull at Wall Street where there's a particular spot that's extra
Absolutely.
touched?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's the butt. Yeah,
The
people
moneymaker.
people are walking
People love
around
some
with
moth
shirts.
butt.
People like would walk around with shirts saying like "I touch Mothman's butt." Like it's like a whole culture. And that's what we're kind of trying to bring back to Chickamauga. Because the whole time also we were thinking like, this is pretty similar. It's like a tiny little town in the middle of nowhere, but it's very historic. There's like markers everywhere. There's all these monuments and stuff like that. Because Point Pleasant has been home to a lot of interesting events. And Chickamauga is the same way. Where like it has like this rich history that the town has really leaned on for a long time. And we think that this could be the next big thing for it. It's getting into like the cryptid tourism.
Yeah, and also like the local economy benefits too, because all of the local businesses around where the festival is happening had a Mothman style offering. So like the Mexican restaurant we ate at had like a Mothman burrito, and then there was a Mothman sundae, and a lot of things like that we can really bring to the city of Chickamauga, which is where it is, and hopefully get some of the businesses around involved to bring people outside who have never really been to Chickamauga before to kind of stimulate that local economy.
So this is happening in October? that right?
Yes, yeah. It's going to be October 19th, 2024. And like Dylan said, is in downtown Chickamauga, not the Chickamauga battlefield. We've had some confusion there. Yeah, it's going to be in town proper, not out in the park. But I mean, that's less than 10 minutes from the park itself. So if you want to go out there during the day to check it out, we definitely recommend that. Currently, our time is 2 to 8 p.m. because, we want to have it a little later in the day so we can have that spooky vibe going on. And it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, right before Halloween, too. So
Nice.
Exciting.
So you mentioned as you were describing the whole event, like plushies. So we've got like spooky, scary cryptids and then plushies. Like, so is this like, you get both? You can go like super hardcore scary mode, but you can also like go cutesy? Like what's the range? Like who's this for? Is it for just like adults or?
Yeah, that's such a great question, Michael. So this is an interesting thing that is kind of going on like the cryptid world. Like I mentioned, like we're in like a weird like renaissance of that stuff right now. And an element of that is kind of like the I think they call like chibi-ifying of cryptids. Chibi-ifying, where like on TikTok and places like that, this concept of like cryptid core is really popular.
Yeah.
Where people kind of take like these figures that traditionally be seen as like scary, mythological, and like legendary figures and turn them into more of like kind of cute, I feel like we've seen that very heavily with like Mothman, where people like they love to make artwork of Mothman, where he kind of goes from like this scary like monster to more of like a little friend,
He's just misunderstood.
Exactly. Yeah. Same with like Bigfoot, where I think like growing up there was a lot of stuff with Bigfoot of like, it's like it's scary. It's like this big ape man in the woods who will get you and everything. And now it's become much more of like almost like a forest guardian kind of thing with local media, I feel like.
All right, so it's pretty far out, but where can people go to follow the journey and to make sure that they don't miss the first ever Green Eyes Festival?
Absolutely, yeah. Dylan, you want to?
People can go to greeneyesfestival.com, greeneyesfestival.com, not greeneyes.com, please. And then Instagram, Green Eyes Festival, TikTok, Green Eyes Festival. We are taking vendor applications and also sponsorship applications, which we need right now so we can make this a super awesome event.
And can people see Green Eyes around town? Is that a thing?
They absolutely can, yeah. So Green Eyes has been appearing in the Chattanooga area, and actually this weekend was in Chickamauga itself. Lots of folks had sightings of him there. So if you're in the Chattanooga area, be on the lookout, especially on the weekends for Green Eyes running around town.
Absolutely.
Nice. Okay, I have one last question, and then we're going to close up. So you guys posted like a picture or something recently, I think on Facebook, and then you had your first like official other sighting from a picture. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, that's one of the really exciting things is that the community's getting really involved and excited. We've seen on like the Chattanooga subreddit and on Facebook where people have started to just like talk about the festival. And it's like this revitalization of like people having an interest in Green Eyes. Like you said, there was someone who made like their own meme kind of like them saying like, oh, I saw Green Eyes in my backyard. And they took like a photo that we had posted of our Green Eyes costume, like edited to be in their backyard. And then, like I said, we've seen people on like Reddit where like they'll post like a picture of like, there's this weird dog in my backyard. Anybody knows who it is? And people were commenting like, oh, it's Green Eyes dog and stuff like that. That shows like the community genuinely like thinks this is fun.
Yeah.
And they want to get involved with it.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for this little sneak peek into the Green Eyes Festival. Behind the scenes, guys, make sure you follow them. Make sure you don't miss it. Be at the first Green Eyes Festival. You guys should have shirts that say I was at the first Green Eyes Festival.
We should.
Yeah.
We'll get that.
And remember to keep an eye out for Green Eyes himself.
Keep it green.
See you next time.
Y'all.
Bye.